Well, hello there. This has been quite the day because I thought I knew what I was doing, and I do know what I'm doing, but it's not going to be, sorry, as I get my voice off here. The computer is like, there, wow, it's like 3 times there. I am going to do a heart thing today, but as I was doing it, I had to change how I was going to make it. Hi, Michelle. It's nice to see you. How are you guys doing in the Tri-Cities? Today, look at this. It is beautifully sunny and no snow, and it's actually going to warm up to 40-something. It's been warming up to 40-something every day for the last just 2 days. We had some really cold weather, but there's been a little bit of a breeze, so it's felt really cold anyway. And so today I'm hoping that 43 or 45 or 46 degree weather is going to actually feel a little closer to that temperature rather than under 20. It felt pretty cold. I did get out and got my workout done, so I thought the day was going really well. We've had to take a fitness club subscription out, which is very reasonable here, like half what it would have been in the Tri-Cities, and partly because Jeff is getting his silver discount now that he's over 60 for both of us. But our elliptical broke, so we ended up we just decided, I spent a bundle for that elliptical to see if a more expensive one would last longer, and it didn't. Not any longer. All right, enough complaining. So the heart I'm going to do is a box. After the video is done, when I'm done with this Facebook Live, I am posting the template so that you can make it, but I'm going to have to tweak the template because it just wasn't working. I've got to move my computer around here so that I can be still on with you and see comments. And there, I think I got that accomplished. All right, so yeah, let's just get started and we will see what we will see because, oops, of course, as usual, the camera did not appreciate that move. I'll have to try it again. This time going a little slower. There, it did it again. iPhone, stop your nonsense, because it's so funny. You put your hand on it, theoretically, that's going to teach it to just don't freak out that you're being moved. Okay. Whew. And then sometimes it does anyway, even though I've tried to be really gentle with it. And all right, I think we're on here now. Pretty good. I don't have my host code and all that stuff up here today. I was working on that heart box and it just wasn't working, and I don't think I have it under this. Oh, maybe I do. I do. Let's write it on here. This is last week's, and I just kept it on here. I kept this under here so that I could just copy my pens kind of. This is actually an old embossing pen. I don't have any really good pens here by my desk. So today, I'm sorry, we're kind of just gonna have to go as I go. Today is not a all together day. I thought it was gonna be because I got my project posted and ready to go right after this and everything, and then the problems started as I was assembling this box. So let me show you first of all what I thought I was going to do, and then we will finish this project with what we are actually going to do. Okay, so my heart that I'm going to put online, well, and it is going to post immediately after with a link. Let me show you what you can download if you want to do it, because every year, I like to give those little Valentine's hearts, but I don't like paying $5 for what is actually not that great of a box anyway. So I found this one that had a nice big heart box. And so this is what you're going to download, but the heart part is fine. The problem is that they had this pattern that I found and copied because it's one that I own, so I could actually copy it and give it to you. You buy it, you know, so you can do that. It actually is legal to do it. But the problem is they had this in 2 parts. So when I went to put it together, it leaves this funky seam here. And it also just didn't go together all that nice or easily. And I thought, come on, you don't have to have this in 2 pieces. So when I cut it out, it does all of these for me because I did it with my cutting machine. But it actually works out much nicer if you just cut it out in one long piece and score it. And so I'm gonna have to redo my thing. So if what you see gets posted and you are using those, do not use these sides. The hearts are fine, but I am gonna just post the actual dimensions for these. Very simple, because I ended up just using an 11, this is a 11 inches by 2 inches, and then scored it 1/4 inch on the long side and 1/2 inch on each end. And so this is the bottom of this box. And I'm gonna just use it because even though it was my first attempt, so it's really funky. When you make stuff like this, it never goes together very well the first time around. Like part of it's scored wrong there. And but by this time I did number 2, the top, it was going together much better. Partly though, because I just decided abandoning the 2 parts and just doing the one is better. And then I cut these out, the hearts out of, and I went ahead and just did it the way you're going to do it. I took my template and then, I didn't cut it out because I'd already cut it out with my cutting machine, but I took the cutting machine part and used it as the template to cut out my other ones. So these I just hand cut out. It's possible to do it. The only thing I would recommend when you're cutting out things like this from a pattern is straight lines are super easy, aren't they? It's just when you start to go around your corner, try to do it in one smooth motion. You're not going to do it all in one smooth motion because it's just not possible. That's too long of a cut to do that. But you can go about that far with one motion and then open your scissors and do it again. Try to do it really smooth because every time you stop and open your scissors again, you just mess up your curve a little bit. So you want to get it in as much into one motion as possible. And that's just how you do a curve when you're cutting it by hand. So I cut both of these pieces from, this is our Sweet Conversations suite, but I'm using the Sweet Talk DSP is what it's called. It's really cute. And with your suite, you get dies that cut out some of these hearts. I did not buy the suite, so I don't have it here. I'm going to use something else with this box, but the paper is pretty nice. I do like it. So that's not the side we're using today. This one's slightly different, but it's similar. And let's see what one of the other ones are. My nails are a mess today because apparently I'm very nervous about the trip we're going to take before too awfully long. I realized last night as I'd nibbled, well, they broke, and then I had to trim them so that they're getting ready for new nails, but I nibbled the sides, and I mean, like where my cuticles and all are. I hate that when I do stuff like that. I was watching TV and not really noticing what I was doing. This is the side that I think I really like, this stripe. Isn't that pretty? What do you think? Has hearts on the other side, which is quite nice. I like those stripes. Nice stripes. All right. So that's the Sweet Talk DSP. It's very pretty. You'll really like it. We don't need that piece. All right. So there's the heart that I cut out, and I did one side just to make sure that it was going to even be worth doing this other part. And it's just not according to how I originally thought we were going to do it. And then when you're going to score a 1/4 inch on one end and 1/2 on both. And then just take your, actually you want to put your tape on first. Now you want to make sure you're putting your tape on. This part's going to be somewhat, don't put any tape on these 2 ends, because depending on how well you put it down, the actual end's going to differ than what you start with. Your 11 and a half inches is actually slightly longer than you're going to need. But you do need some wiggle room, because you're not going to perfectly attach this. There's just no way. You cannot do it. I mean, you maybe after your 10th one you could, but initially you're just not going to be able to attach it all that easily. To make this curve better though, let's go ahead and use the bone folder and just kind of do this just to relax our paper a little bit, give it a little bit of a curve. And then that'll make it a little easier too, to get it to curve around this curve, get things going, okay? All right, so after you have scored, get your tearing tape, make it the same length as your long piece, and we're gonna stick that right on there. And that, let me get rid of my glasses here. That tearing tape is a little wider than a 1/4 inch. So it is going to stick up just a tiny bit from the top. So after you've peeled it back, you're going to want to push some of that back down onto it. Okay, so that's why it's stuck, because it is just a little bit bigger than a 1/4 of an inch. But we only need that much. So let's go on this side. All right, there we go. So we're gonna peel that off and then peel this tape back like this on itself. All right, now we're ready to apply. So you're gonna just put, you know, what I'm gonna do, I could have done it before I peeled, but I don't like to pick at that tape too much. I don't do a nice job. So I'm gonna just take, put a few little slots in here. Just a few, not much. It might make getting around that corner a little easier. I'm not even gonna slot that one, just this top part. All right, now you're gonna wanna put this together here, like that. But because my fold didn't end up being exactly where I wanted it, it's not exact, I'm gonna not attach it. I'm gonna wait until after I've got this whole thing down, then I'm gonna attach all of that. That way I can get this on. Now, this is gonna be a little awkward because just by the nature of this, I can't do it and show it to you at the same time all that easily, because I'm gonna try to get this edge right here, this folded edge, about, 1/8 of an inch in, a little less, almost a 1/16. Yeah, really a 1/16 of an inch in. So it's not right against there, but it's pretty close. And then as you stick your tape down, I'm trying to keep it in your line of sight, but it's really hard to do this while keeping it in your line of sight. I'm gonna have to stand up, I think, to do it. And then I'll have to stand up, I've got to put my glasses back on again. All right, so now you can see what I'm doing. I'm kind of using the inside finger to press that down and trying to keep it as close. You can see it's kind of awkward. Now, if you use the actual, instead of cardstock, if you use the DSP, it's easier because it's thinner paper. But the problem is that it just doesn't make as sturdy of a box. So, and I also wanted to show you how to do it. So I could have just used my cut out DSP and put it together actually much easier than this is looking, but that DSP is lightweight cardstock. It's not heavyweight. And this, our cardstock actually is pretty heavy. It's a medium weight, but it makes a very nice box. Now you can see that corner is just not cooperating with me. It's not folding at all. So let's put, that's because I didn't have a notch in there. We're going to put a couple of little notches right like that. And then I'm going to be able to lay that down on there better. Okay, there we go. Now it's working out a little better. I don't know if you can really see what's happening here, but I'm just trying to put it, again, about a 1/16 of an inch in from that edge, and then pushing down in here on the inside as I do it. Okay. It's coming along pretty good. I got too big of an opening there. And the problem is that this is the top. So I really can't do that. I gotta reposition that because this has to fit over whatever my bottom is. So I do want it to be a little bigger rather than a little smaller. So, all right, so you can see that these don't match up perfectly here. So I'm gonna need to kind of create a refold right there, just a little bit. You can see how it's just a little bit off there. So I'm gonna just take my finger, kind of correct that. I'm not gonna do anything too fancy. Just try to correct it. Gentle, gentle. There. We actually want it to go together here, not overlapping, and it's just wanting to overlap. There we go. All right, I think I got it now. There. All right, now it's not quite even there, so I'll have to do a little bit of trim. All right, once you finally get this part of it, though, satisfactory, reasonably, then you can put your tape in here. Oh, hi, Andy. It's good to see you. I cannot believe you actually got here today. Oh, your snow is melting. Oh, I know you're not probably as happy about that as I would be. I'd be thrilled if I were you. I don't go anywhere. I was telling before you came on, Jeff and I had to take out a fitness club thing, membership, because our elliptical broke down, and it's a nice elliptical. I spent a bundle for it, and I was really disgusted that it had died already, because I think we had it only 2 years maybe. Jeff thought it had not even been a whole 2 years. So as much as they cost, they've got to last longer than that. That's absolutely ridiculous. All right, so I'm going to just trim this down, but I'm not going to go all the way around. I'm just going to kind of try to even that out. I don't know if when I cut it, if I just cut it kind of crooked. It sort of looks like I did, or what, but anyway. All right. Now, it looks rough on the inside, I know. I haven't attached that part yet because I want to see exactly how I'm going to do it. Looks like it can go together pretty well there without having to do much tweaking. So let's put some tape on the inside of that. And get that going. If you're like me, I like the little boxes you can buy in the store. And of course, you can buy them pretty cheap. I understand this. But there's nothing like making your own stuff. I just like to make my own stuff. And especially when it comes to giving goodies in a box, I want to give my own goodies too. Now, you can trim some of this off after you're done getting it together. It's gonna stay pretty good there. Oh, I trimmed all of it off. That wasn't smart. Maybe I should glue that now that I've got it so short. I'll just glue it and then clip it. Because that, I left myself very little room there, didn't I? All right, so we'll just glue that. There, I won't even have to clip it. It looks like it's sticking pretty good. All right. Oh, I need to get my... We're almost ready to move on to... Because I'm going to do those flowering rain boots today. That's actually what we're going to work on. This is just a little quickie. The flowering rain boots is something I've been waiting to work on for a while. I got distracted with all of the tulips and the windmill and all of that. But this is the one. This one and the daffodils and this home and garden are the sets that I've been wanting to work on the most. Been eagerly waiting to get to those. So I'm really happy to do those today. Okay, because this is a little rough, you can just take your tape and stick it on the back here. You can get it on there better than I am doing, since I can't even... Why today are you so problematic for me? I don't know. You're not staying at all. Every time I peel you up, tape, your whole self is coming, and I just want your back. All right, there we go. All right, then you can tape that down. All right, so that is your top, and hopefully it fits. And it should, if you've given yourself any space at all. There we go. So it does fit on there. It's a little wonky. But again, that's because I did these in 2 sections instead of 1. I think your 1 section's going to work out much, much better. It's going to look a lot better than that did. And then after you've all finished that, you can, if you cut out extras, you could cut out a little bit more, and you could put it on the inside too. If you put it on the inside, it'll make it look a little bit nicer. But for now, I'm gonna just do this top part. Again, so this is our Sweet Conversation Suite. If you've already been a Stampin' Upper for a while, you probably have a bunch of heart sets that are very similar. That's why I did not buy it this year. But the paper's always cute. And I actually have some leftover paper from our other stuff, and it's very similar. So if you have any leftover heart paper too, it can coordinate pretty nicely with this new stuff. If you want to do like any bags. Bags always take so much DSP, don't they? All right, so then once you get that on, then you can decorate this up with some, ribbon. Just putting your stuff in here like this. Let's see if I can, let's take this. Do I need this? I'm thinking to myself, this is the top and this is the bottom. So I do, because I'm going to probably have to make a whole new template. And I might need these to do that. I'm not sure. Because I actually, what I will do eventually is I'm going to trim this down so this guy can fit in there, because that is just so rough. And then I'll have a pretty decent little box here to give some goodies in. And you can do your homemade goodies. You don't even have to, you don't have to resort to whatever those little skinny chocolate box things are. All right, so that is our little box. Little heart box, and that's just a little freebie extra today, okay? That isn't even what we're really working on. It's just a little extra. In the flowering rain boots, hi Jewel, it's nice to see you. Oh yeah, Andy, you are right, because here we go. Here's another thing I discovered. Our iconic dies, which are kind of like hidden dies in there, because they don't go with a stamp set, I don't believe. I don't think they did. The iconic dies have these wonderful little mushrooms, a couple of leaves, and so I cut out some extras of that. And then as I was playing with this set, realized these little squares that come out after you're done cutting this piece out, which creates this part. You want to keep those squares because you never know, you might use it, right? All right, well, I'm going to restamp because this is Flirty Flamingo and this is black, and I am not using those today. But I am not going to have to use the die for my little trowel because I've cut out a whole bunch of them. There's a few flopping around in here. And this little trowel is probably the best thing ever in this set. I love that little trowel. It's so cute, and it goes really nice with this. Actually, that's not a trowel, because this is the trowel, little hand trowel. It's a little shovel, just a little hand shovel, you know, that cuts out but they also have solid pieces for the shovel and the trowel, and I haven't really figured out yet why you would want that. In this home and garden set, there are little hooks that you can cut out. So I've cut some of those out of our old galvanized silver so that I can hang my little tools up. So I'm still playing with it, not really sure, haven't figured out exactly why I would want a solid silver shovel bit, because I like having the detail on it. So anyway, that's that. So we'll probably use some of these pieces that I've already prepped from this set. And I don't know, we'll think about it, because I probably want to do this one all on its own and keep this one all on its own today too. So we'll just see. We'll start with some white cardstock and we'll just stamp. So let's get this out. All right, and I think I am really happy with how the boots stamp up with Real Red or Poppy Parade, but I think we'll go with Real Red today because it is darker, and I want to make sure that what I do works out, because I've only experimented with Real Red and I think a lavender or something, I don't know, or Highland Heather, and it wasn't as effective. All right, so this is not a distinctive stamp, but it does give you really nice detail, doesn't it? But it's not filled in. For me, I don't like seeing all those pixels. It's fine, but I don't want it to be all pixelated. So, to avoid that, I decided I gotta use pencils. Our markers, our blending pens are too strong, and it just doesn't work. So we are going to use an Aqua Painter and a pencil to just kind of smooth out those boots. And let's see, let's do the rate. Well, no, because we'll probably do the watering can with a different color. So maybe I won't do it with that right now. So here we go. You've got 2 pencil sets available, and I do not know where the Real Red is, if it's in with, there's Real Red. I don't know if it's in the first set or if it's in with the second set, but there's 2 pencil sets. And, you know, Andy, you're probably wondering, well, why don't I just use one of my Copic pens? That is Real Red, but it's not looking all that reddish. I think maybe we'll try Cobbler, Cherry Cobbler. My Copic pens, I don't think I would have any better. I would end up just turning it into a different color, basically. And the joy of using Stampin' Up! Is that everything's color coordinated. So, I do try to stick with my Stampin' Up! Pens generally, but sometimes, especially with flesh tones and all that, I end up having to grab other pens. But did you know that beginning in February. Now, right now, all demonstrators can buy these. So if you want to get stuff early, you should join our team. That would be the best thing to do. And then you could buy everything early and not have to wait. But if you haven't done that, you know, if you've decided you're just not going to do that right now, you will have to wait till February. In February, there's a whole pack. Oh my goodness, can you just believe it? Whole pack. I do have a few other things in here. It's not just the new pens. So let me grab the extras out because I do have a few extras in here. But Stampin' Up! Has come up with all, this is ivory, so that doesn't come in the set. Got some of my extras in here, as I said. There's 10 of them that are new. Let me grab out the ones I know are definitely not part of the set. This is, no, that one is. Okay, so they have numbers, and they're called they're the flesh tones. That's bronze, so that's not part of it. That one's not even shut, is it? Man, try to make sure you want to make sure they click shut. I shouldn't see any opening at the bottom like I am right there. But at any rate, there's all these wonderful browns. And oh man, for landscape people or gardening people, you gotta have those. They're really, really cool. I've been really enjoying them. Let me look over here for a second. There we go. Okay. All right, so we'll just keep going here. And as you can see, I've just made some darker coloring, and I don't really want to do that. And I actually kind of want to use a circular motion. I'm not trying to be really super careful, but I want it darker there where it's darker. Not so dark where it's lighter, because I don't want to lose any of that highlighting, but I definitely just, I don't want it to be, like I said, all pixelated. I don't care for that fill. Usually the stamp fill is more solid, and that one's just not. All right, so once you've got a pretty good back there, you can decide if you want to do the same color for the sole or if you want a different color. Today I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of black here. I left it red in my cards that I've made so far with this, and I actually think I prefer it that way, but we're going to try it with black and see what happens. Okay, and then also you can use some other color maybe to put a gold buckle on there. And if you want another color, now's your chance to stick that on there too. All right, now with your aqua pen, you don't want a lot of water on here. Very little, okay? You just want to make sure some's coming out. And then that is going to smooth out that pencil really nicely. Squirting a little more water there. Kind of gives you a very light watercolor effect without having to be skilled. I'm not very skilled with the watercolor stuff, so it's like, well, I can do this. This is pretty basic, and it does smooth out this color quite a bit. Oops, that's why I don't do this very much. Okay, there we go. Now, another thing that you can do that I think I liked just as well. Oops. I just don't like that line I got there. But now that I've wet it down, there's not a lot I can do with that. Kind of stuck with it. You can use your Wink of Stella. Wink of Stella looks really good. Let's do the watering can with that. Where did I stick my actuals? Oh, there they are. There are the stamps. Okay, so there's the watering can. Let's give that a go. And let's do that with basic gray. Now, if you want a really nice colorful card, you'd probably want to do a yellow, maybe. Yellow might not be bad, but we're gonna stick with something a little more subdued and go with our gray. Make sure we got it covered pretty good. It's cute. I mean, you're gonna really like what you see when you stamp it. It's just that as you look at it with that artist's eye, you're gonna start to be a little dissatisfied with the dot effect, if you're anything like me. So let's see, this is basic gray, very good. Okay, this time I'm gonna go real light. I don't really wanna get too heavy-handed with it because I don't wanna lose the highlights and the lines, especially right there. And mostly just coloring where it's white. I just don't want it to be blindingly white for this one. And I'm going to color where the darker part is too, just to give my Aqua pen something to drag around. Now, I guess I'm not going to use the Aqua pen on this one. Let's do the Wink of Stella so you can see how that works. And you've probably seen other people do this before. It is really quite nice. It works just like that Aqua pen, but it gives a nice little glitter to it. With a watering can, maybe that's appropriate, I don't know. But it smooths out all of the pixelating stuff, don't you think? I did. I thought it just made it look better than if I just leave it. Okay. Now, as you do this, of course, you want to make sure you've cleaned off your tips. All right, I think that's good. So cute. And the same thing with your little tulips. Let's see, let's find the can. Here's did I put it away? No, there it is, the pot. The pot. What do we do with the pot? Okay, let's do Cajun Craze with that. Okay, everything's separate, so I can just kind of shove it all together here. And then while we're stamping, let's finish that out. Let's do the little stems, the little flower stems. And for the flower stems, I kind of prefer the soft succulent, but I don't think soft succulent was quite dark enough. So we're gonna go with Evening Evergreen. I think that's gonna be way too dark, but we'll see. Nope, see how that actually, Evening Evergreen's pretty dark, but for these leaves, it's perfect. And then we'll get out the little tulip pattern. And we'll want to do our real red for those. Real red tulips. What are your favorite tulip colors? It's going to be a while before we're going to see tulips. I can't get too excited about tulips right now. We've got, in a month, we'll have, there should be crocuses out. At the, let me use a scrap edge here. At our local botanical garden, I was stunned to see, the tulips really come out nice, don't they? Isn't that beautiful? There's Helleborus out, or is it Helleborus? I don't know. I don't remember how to pronounce it. But at any rate, they were out and actually opening up. And then it got really cold. We had pussy willows out, witch hazel out, there's a shrub here, a flowering honeysuckle shrub that I had to come and look up to see what it was. I didn't even know, but it smelled delicious. And those were all out and flowering, and then we got terrible cold snap. And all right, so those have all frozen away. They're there, but they're all frozen down except for those Helleborus. Those will be really nice still. This is Cajun Craze. It is best to go in the direction of the pot. I am not, and so let's correct that. Okay, I'll try to get our circle going here. We're going to do a nice dark rim there. Just do little circles. More there. And a little more there and there. On the sides. Okay, now we can use our Aqua Painter. So I don't think I want this to be shiny at all. And then you can get your little pot color much nicer than you will with your blending pens, I think. All right, there we go. And then again, you want to use your squeeze it and get any color you've got on there off. Let's go for the other one. Let's do something lighter. What have we got here? Granny Apple Green. You're way too. Let's do Old Olive. That's a little bit yellowish. Let's do something else. This is Garden Green. That will be perfect. This is going to give those tulip color leaves. I think Garden Green. You can go pretty dark there. I should probably sharpen my pencil. It's getting a little dull. I think my favorite tulip color is those really vibrant, not magenta pink, but there's a, it's almost like a rose pink. I guess that's probably why I like it. It's more of a rose color. It's really a dark, dark pink, but it's a distinct pink. You're not gonna think that it's red. And I think they're called Matador, if you're looking. I am not planting any tulips here. Every time I get, of course, our plant catalogs found us. I did not send them change of address because I didn't want to be tempted with plants here. I'm just enjoying our botanical garden. I don't intend to turn our yard here into a garden like we did in the Tri-Cities because it just takes a lot of work. And I want to be free here to get up and just decide with Jeff we're going to go somewhere, you know, for the day and not be trapped with watering, weeding, all that. Pink and yellow tulips, I love those too. You know, yellow tulips are about the most cheery thing. In the fall or in the spring, I think the yellow ones come up. Do they come up first? It seems like they do, like with the daffodils. Now there's a little seed packet that's terribly cute. I think you're gonna like it. We're gonna do that one. Let's do something brighter because when I did it with real red before, it just didn't quite pop out enough. So we need something very, very vivid though. I'm not seeing anything very, very vivid. Let's do Call Me Clover. Is this color even available now? I'm not sure, but I think we'll see what it looks like. The problem is it does color the daisy. I thought it did, but I was hoping it wouldn't, but it definitely did. But we're going to leave it anyway. And then we're going to use, this time, let's not use that. Let's use a blending pen on this one. Because I think it can take it. So we'll get out our real red, the dark one. Oops, not that, though. We want the bullet tip. And we'll put this is the painted daisies they come in red and pink, and yellow, So you can actually have a red daisy on there. And then the label is delightfully left blank. If you're really good with your handwriting, you might be able to write in the name of your preferred flower. And there's actually this daisy shape has so many flowers that come like that. You could make it anything. It could be a dahlia or a dahlia. It could be those Africa Cape daisies that come in that wonderful yellow and purple and all. You could make them those little white daisies. You can make them a Rebecca or Black-Eyed Susan, or I could go on and on. There's just so many in that shape. So don't limit yourself with color on any of that. Oh, I forgot. We got to do that guy. All those little tulips. So that's not cherry cobbler. We definitely want red, real red on these. Okay, so we'll get that's melon mambo. I don't want that. Real red. Okay, there we go. All right, not gonna take a ton of time with you. And then let's go ahead with Aqua Painter. I don't really want sparkly tulips. The worst part with the painter is going out of the lines. That is when you're used to being able to just slop with your pen. You forget, I forget. There's some water in there. It's gonna spread and go. So you do have to be a little careful and just always make sure you're cleaning it off. All right, we're ready to cut it out and assemble. It goes pretty quick once you cut some things out. But we're gonna need to get out that machine so that we can get everything all cut out. It's gonna take a minute here. All right. And let's see if I can find all of my parts. Oh dear. Okay, there we go. Oops. Looking at my list here. Last week I went in and got a crown in my tooth, and it's actually doing quite well. I hadn't used that tooth for so long when I had the temporary on that it had kind of gotten sensitive. So when they put the crown on, I was thinking, oh, I hope my tooth actually can be used, because I'm tired of chewing only on the right side of my mouth, but I kind of sensitized it since I had not been using it for it. It actually cleared itself up pretty good. All right. Did I tell you guys that story already? When I went into the dentist, the girl came and did all, she prepped it and everything, but when she started to put the crown on, she said, oh, it doesn't really fit. And so I'm going to get the dentist in here, and he'll x-ray it. And I thought, oh, great, because we're going to go on vacation here soon. So I was praying, please, God, let her just not really know what she's doing, and have it fit, please. And some of the other things she was doing made me think she wasn't terribly experienced, but she seemed fine. And the dentist came in. Oh, it looks great. He put it on without any effort at all. She did take an x-ray. She did, but I don't think it was really necessary, but she did anyway. And then as he was having her put the glue in the tray that's gonna, you know, put it on the actual tooth, he was giving her like minute instructions how to do that. In a way that was so obvious she'd never done it before. Certainly not in that office, she never had. So finally when he was done doing that, he explained, he said, you'll have to forgive me, I can't find anybody to work for me, and not for him. He just said, can't find anybody to work. And so my sister-in-law thankfully was willing to come in and help us out today. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. I said, I'm good. I'm glad your sister-in-law's so talented, because I'm thinking, sheesh, I suspect she's a hygienist, but boy, if you're desperate for help, I don't know what you're allowed to do. She did a great job. She was fine. But he told her that I thought I cut, oh, I did. There it is. Let's get that out. You can actually just cut this with the scissors. It's, you know, pretty easy to do. He said that the glue that puts the crown on your tooth is like $200 a tube. And so he was explaining to her, you know, this is how much you want to put in there, because you don't want to put too much, and partly it's because it's so expensive. But you got to make sure it's going to seal it really good. And see, this is what happens. And so oftentimes, instead of using a die with something as small as that, I will use my scissors, because I can do a better job than that die is going to do. Only because I'm not willing to take the time to just tape it down. If I did take the time to tape it down, it would do a magnificent job. Almost done cutting these things out, and then I want to show you how I'm going to do the background. I'm going to do the background with the trowel. And the trowel not only makes a really cool little background for any of these back garden cards, you can do a fabulous little mask with this little trowel, because it's just a very cute design. Very simple. And with this card set, it is not with the garden set is actually a Father's Day set, if you want to use it that way. And this one's more of the Mother's Day option, but there's no, you know, the sentiments are not Mother's Day or anything. But this would work really well for a guy's card too. So anyhow, just mentioning that, in the Home and Garden set, there is, where is it? There is, I believe, a little rock die, and they are very small. I think I have some that I cut out. I thought, well, maybe the rocks would look better as a background kind of thing. I don't know. What do you think? I'm not sure how to use the rock die in that. All right, I'm going to find a piece of either crumb cake or smoky slate. Kind of depends on what I can find in my stash here. Oh, I don't have any crumb cake. So we're going to have to find some soft or some smoky slate. And let's hope that I have a piece in here. I do, sort of. Okay, so we're going to start with this. And we're going to do, I wonder, what did I use? I used basic gray, didn't I? So I could use, if I have any more gray granite, but I don't. I use that too. All right, so we are going to do, we'll do smoky slate. Sure. All right, we're going to take the die, the little trowel die, and we're going to let's just run this through a few times in a random pattern. I don't really actually need the trowel that's coming out I'm not even using those right now. So I'm not even going to bother taking them out. Eventually it'll fall out because it's going to be too thick to stay in there. There's one. There's still one in there probably. Isn't this going to be a cute little pattern on the back of your card? It's just a nice little background. Yeah, the pebble accessory. I thought so too. I like those. Have you got the pebbles? The little pebble. What are they're called? They're probably called elements. My magnet's not quite cooperating with me there because I want you to go. I don't want the opening on the edge. That would be okay. Let's do you like that. The pebble. I like those better than the pebbles in from the die. But you're right. If you used like that piece that I cut out, if you use this and then put the pebbles around it, is that what you're talking about, Andy? To indicate that this is pebbles? Because how would you know otherwise? I mean, the rest of your card's gonna probably give you that clue, but I thought the same thing. When I was looking at that, it's like dog chow or something. I don't know. So that's a very good idea. Just using those little elements. Let me grab them. They're pretty cute. I do wish they had more of the brown ones. They're called Pebble Enamel Shapes. And there's mostly gray, but I like the brown ones. Oh, I wish there were maybe a little more equal number of brown to gray. That would help, I think. I think you're right. Okay, almost done. Probably can get maybe one, maybe two. Let's see. Uh-oh, might have to clip those out. They're starting to not want to. Let's try to throw some of those out that are stuck in there. There we go. Okay, all right, let's just do one more. It's going to somewhat get covered up, I understand, but card makers like to come up with lots of different ways to do backgrounds. Throw you out of there. I do have a pokey that can poke it out, but it's not coming out easily, so I'm going to just wait because I'm done. Maybe before I put this away, I can emboss whatever piece I want to have underneath. Let's do some real red. I'm going to just cut this in half. And oops, grab out my other plate. I have been using that gingham a lot. It is really cool. But today let's do the hive and see what happens. I haven't used the hive yet. So let's just give it a go. Let's get it all the way over. There we go. I've got my handle on the wrong side today for this video, so I'm having a little awkward time getting it going. All right, there we go. Oh, let's look. I like it. Very cool. Very cool. I've seen cards done with this hive one, but I haven't actually. It's the first time I've used it, and it's just as neat as I thought it would be. Anything that has to do with bees, I'm always all over that. They're just really cute. The little Stampin' Up! Bees. So we'll have to do the honey home thing before too awfully long. Okay, so now we're going to put this with this and this on here like this. And that'll be nice right there. I should have, while I was there, I should have cut out a label. But since I did not, let's see. Let's just grab a Smoky Slate circle that I've got ready to go. And then we'll just punch out. We'll just do a sentiment and punch it out. Okay, that's gonna drive me crazy. This is what I do when I don't want to bother getting my pokey out, which I happen to have right at the side, but there. It does fall out if you throw it on your desk often enough. It finally will just fall out. It's like, good. It's done. All right. So let's see. We've got, if we're going to do a circle, I'm kind of limited to just these two sentiments. And they're very cute, but I've used them a bunch already. So I think instead, let's see if I can get a circle that will fit this. Thanks for helping me grow. I really like that. That's a very nice sentiment that you could use for anyone. Anyone, right? Thanks for helping me grow. Very cute. Hopefully every person in your life is someone who is helping you grow. And you are, whether you know it or not, you are helping someone grow too. Now, if we're going to do grow anywhere in it, though, we got to have some green. So let's go with helping me in red. Okay. Get the real red on there. And let's grab out that. Let's just do it with Call Me Clover. We'll put the grow part with Call Me Clover. Now, I don't want to mix my color too much, so I'm being a little more careful now on the grow part. With the red part, we're not too careful because nothing else was on there, but there. Very cute. I did some, you know, that's gonna show. That's just, that little mark is not gonna. That's why this is too big, isn't it? We'll trim you. And then that will prevent that from happening in the future. All right. And so that was from that Home and Garden set. Really like it. So cute. All right, let's go ahead see if I've got a punch that's going to work. If not, I know I have a ton of circle dies. And we'll just see what we can find on the... Let's see here. Ah, that's going to work. It's a little small. Let's see if it'll actually fit. I might have to trim this away so I can see if it will work. Oh, it does. I almost can get rid of my smudge. In fact, I think I can. There we go. Now, if we had some DSP, that would be nice too, but I'm not going to take the time to find some. I have a bunch of that. The Plentiful Plants has a bunch of really cool designs. I'm sure there's something really nice that could go there, but let's clean up my mess a bit and not worry about it. So I've got my tooth done. We had, what else did we have done? There was just a few little odds and ends kind of things I felt like I needed to clear up before we left on our trip. We were going to go to California to see our daughter and her husband and their baby, who's now, she's not a baby anymore. She's more than one. She's about 1.5, and she's so cute. So cute. Of course, that's the age she's going to cry every time she gets near us, I'm sure. You know, I mean, that's just the life of the grandparent who doesn't live anywhere near their grandkids. That's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do about it. They're going to cry, and you just can't let that bother you. Right? It's not about you. They just cry because they're little kids. Okay, so I did it a little shorter than 5.5. I didn't quite get it exactly where I wanted it, but we want to, I'm just trimming up the edge here first. Oops. Oh, what did you do? Did you come out of the track? Or what? There we go. Okay, let's go there. It did. It came out of the track. And then we'll go at 4 inches here. Well, no, we're going to do a little bit more. How about 4 and an 1/8. Okay, I'm trying to give myself a little more space. Because I embossed it, it, you know, didn't cut a super clean cut. All right, a little more edge because I want to have this on there. Okay, let's trim it down. Get it down as close as I can to my little trowels. That's a little too close. There we go. And then let's trim this edge a little bit. And this edge a little bit. There we go. All right, that's as close as we need to get it. And then let's grab a piece of white cardstock to make our base card. So we'll go 5.5 inches. And we'll score that at 4 1/4. And then I need some Smoky Slate. Let's grab a piece of Smoky Slate. Is this Smoky Slate? Yep, it is. I'm going to cut that 5.5. And 4 1/4. All right, now we're all set. Put that away. And now we can assemble. This is the best part. Once you've gotten all of your pieces done, and then you get to just put it all together. It's one reason a kit is fun. A lot of people really like kits because all of the cutting and all of the figuring out is already done for them. And I had been making kits and selling those from my Square site, and I haven't made any sales in who knows how long because I stopped doing it. I really just I didn't have time to do that. It's very labor intensive to cut out kits. And I just haven't done it. I'm gonna have to get back to it. It's definitely a good resource for some revenue if you want to make some more, or if you want to buy some more stamps. So I'm going to have to do it, but I haven't. All right, so there we go. Now let's see if I need to cut this down some. I probably I don't need a big border of that Grace. I don't need a big border, so I think actually that's going to work out fine. I kind of like this side. If I was going to do it as a honeycomb, I would put it on this side. I think that is actually the front. I don't really remember how it came out of the embossing folder, but this to me looks like the front of the honeycomb. But we're using it on the back side because on this side it's more pebbly looking, more soilish looking, if that makes sense. Okay, it's a rough texture. And that's kind of what I was going for, just something kind of rough to go underneath our little cute trowel background. Love that. To get the color of that red right through, I'm not going to do dimensionals. We'll just do glue right on here. Very cute. Now the little prong ends, they will, you know, kind of come up if you don't put some glue on there. It's gonna leak through a little bit. when I press it down, because I'm putting on maybe a little more than I probably needed to, but I'm rushing. All right, let's go on this side. Now, if I had not put it on my base card yet, I could put a nice little twine here, which would be very nice, but I didn't do that. I kind of messed that up. So we're going to go ahead without. And this we will glue together. I could do it here. Maybe that's what I should do. Let's do that. Well, let's see what we have over here. We actually have some. This is retired, I'm sure, but it's a red thread. It's not even thread. Maybe I need a ribbon for this. No, I don't know. Can't decide. Do we want twine or do we want ribbon? Let's take this and see what I think. Let's see if we want to do. It's braided. I don't think it's still out on the. I don't think it's still available. It seems like all of my favorite stuff never is. Yeah, it's okay. I think I might rather have some twine. Let's see if I can find some over here. There's cherry cobbler. I've got an abundance of cherry cobbler twine. I don't really see red. The thing I like about baker's twine is that you can separate it into however thick of a grouping you want. You can have it very skinny and just separate it out, or you can do it thick like this. Since this isn't really the color I want because it's cherry cobbler, we're going to separate it out some. This is a little time consuming, but not too bad. There. I think I've got glue on my hands. I'm probably going to knot it trying to get that big of a clump. You kind of can only go so many at a time. You can't do like more than 3. And really 2 is pretty much the max too. All right, I'm breaking it now. So we're going to go with this amount. And stick that on there. And that. Okay, there we go. That's what I want. And we could probably wrap it. Let's do that, and then we'll tape it. Yeah, better just do it like that. And then let's grab a piece of tape. Tape. Where are you? Let's just grab a piece of our and this will stick it down if I can get it going. There we go. This is our snail. I actually really like it. It's nice. I haven't had as much trouble with it as I did with the old stuff. It's kind of surprising, actually. Okay, getting to the end. I know it's taking a while. It always does, doesn't it? Put a couple of dimensionals on here. Let's see, where do we want it? Right there. So let's stick it on here like this. And then we'll figure out how I'm going to do this. Like that. Let's do our snail on that. I always have to start it. It's never exactly where I think it should be. it seems fine when I leave it, but then when I go to open it up again, it never is quite ready. Maybe that's why some people haven't liked it all that much. We'll just stick it on top and that's going to make it so much easier for me to do a little knot if I just stick it on there. Kind of like having that other pair of hands, you know, to tie a bow with. So, you know, Jeff's been substituting at schools, and he has rarely done elementary. He was a high school teacher. He taught 4th grade for 2 years and realized that those teachers are gold. So he hasn't done much with it, but the one day that he did, or maybe he did more than one day, it just seemed like it wasn't much. Okay, now you've got all your little things, so you can stick them all on here. I don't know if I'm going to use the watering can. It's cute, but I don't even know that I'm going to. It's pretty large, so it's kind of like the boots or the watering can. Which one? Because I like the boots myself. And then you want to put on your pot, and I got my dye off a little bit, so I'm going to trim just a bit. Okay. I want to put the boots here. We'll put our little pots here behind the boots. I have been finding that this is a big clump for that pot. So we're going to just do that. We're going to stick it in the pot. I'll show you in a second how to do that. And then these are going to go behind, I think. So because that's going to go behind, I'm going to do, now I could just get an X-Acto knife and do this with an X-Acto, but you can do it with your scissors too. You're just going to follow along, pressing down where that little rim is a couple of times. Okay, turn it over. You can find where it is because you can kind of see where it is that you've just cut. Go a couple more times. That way I don't have to press very hard. And then it's going to make a nice little opening there, and my little leaves can just fit in there if I trim it a tiny bit more. I'll just trim that down there, and now it'll fit right inside my little pot. Isn't that cute? We're going to put glue on the stems. And dimensional on the pot. There. Stick those guys in there. And it's coming up there. I don't care about that. That's perfectly fine. And then I can arrange my tulips however I want. You know, I did have it kind of up different when I was first putting it on here, but I kind of changed it up a little bit. The mini dimensionals fit perfectly on those backs of these little tulips, but some of them are going to be I don't know where, so let's just stick these here like that. And that one I'm not really sure where he's going to end up. Some of them are going to end up high, so I don't want to put a dimensional up there. So because I cut away some of the stems, I'm actually ending up with some extra tulips, and I could cut them off, but you really don't need to. The way they did this design, it's very forgiving. They don't all have to have a stem to still look like they're attached to this bunch. They just look like they're falling down a little bit there. Okay, isn't that cute? All right, now the boots. I'm down to the last of my little dimensionals on this package. They're almost gone. Pretty sweet when you get to the end. Isn't it cute? I love this little set. It's so sweet. It makes me want to have some boots like this. And when we moved to Missouri, I thought I was going to be wading in water all the time. And I'm not. I haven't needed to go buy a good pair of boots yet. I thought I would, but I haven't. And then here's your little trowel. Now the trowel is hard to stick on, you know, with any of, you can't do it with dimensionals. You'd have to cut a tiny, I mean you can, but it's kind of awkward. So instead of that, we are going to just glue you down. I could use a glue dot. Actually, that might work better. But we'll go ahead and just glue you, because then you can kind of bend and go wherever you need to. Glue dot would work too. There. Now, I don't mind if the handle's kind of sticking up, because I think it'd be better to look like that than to be sticking, you know, to just be. It will bend around on my card, you know. People are taking it in and out. It'll degrade quickly, but I don't care, because I get to give it away, and then people can save it or get rid of it, because I don't really care what happens to it after it leaves my desk. All right, so that was fun. I hope you guys had a good time. I did. Let's see if my camera is working still. It is. That's good news. All right. Don't forget, this is Celebration, so you need to get in there and spend. You get free things every time you do. I don't have my stamp sets handy. I would show you that. There's the awesome otters. There's... I don't even remember now. There's just so much. There's a lot of paper that's really cool that have daisies. That would have been good. There's a lot of daisies. I'll have to use that, Andy, with this, because the daisies has that black background, a lot of it, and then you could put your little black rain boots with it. That'd be cute, huh? Or what other colors are on there? I think there's pink, so you could have your pink rubber boots with it. Lots of neat things that you can do with this set. So if you are a gardener, you're going to love it. Don't miss out. For every $50 you spend, you get free things. And if you do $100 worth, oh, you get that Friendly Hello set, which is stamps and paper. And the paper is really nice. You'll like it. I think I am going to be here next week. I'm going to try this week to do another video on my own and then have it posted next week to Facebook. So it won't be me live. I won't be live for a couple of weeks, but I should be able to get something on here. I hope so. That's my goal, and we'll see if I manage to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. You have a wonderful day. I hope it's warm where you are, or warmish, and we can all get out and enjoy the sunshine. And rain boots are fine for a couple hours, and then you want to put them away and go outside and enjoy the sun. Right? We do. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.